Eurovision. Now, I have to say, your say this morning, absolutely full of people saying, I'm not interested in Eurovision, I don't like all of that nonsense. But actually, it's not just about the show now and all of the camp or fabulous or whatever view you have on the music. It's actually turned quite political. And this is all relating to Israel and Gaza.
Absolutely. And the hotly contested Eurovision final, of course, takes place this evening amid some confusion after the Dutch act was banned from rehearsals as officials launch an investigation.
Well, all of this comes as pro-Palestinian demonstrations continue to surround the event, calling for Israel to be banned in the same way that Russia has been.
And we're absolutely delighted now to be joined by 1981 Books Fizz Eurovision winner Aston. Jay, it's absolutely a delight to talk to you on this day, a day, of course, when you made history with Books Fizz. Let's just talk about that moment. Everyone remembers the skirts getting ripped off, but what about the feeling when you won? It must have been an absolutely magnificent moment.
It was amazing, and it changed our lives. It was quite historic. We didn't realise it at the time, and we only won by a few points, and I think the skirt rip definitely helped. But we went into this sort of, at the end of the show, we went into this big arena, and then it was just flash bulbs going off. And for the next 2-3 years, we literally were in and out of different countries in Europe, all over the world. Our lives changed because of that silly song that meant nothing, and it was only 3 minutes long.
Eurovision, isn't it? It should be about silliness and meaninglessness, and yet it seems to be being hijacked by political issues now. Do you have any sympathy for the contestant from Israel who herself hasn't come out on any particular side of the argument, just happens to be from the country in the centre of a big geopolitical row? Should she be treated like this?
I do feel very sorry for her because she's 20. You know, to me, she's a young girl or young woman, and she'll have all of this conflict. So she's going on stage and she's got cheers and boos, and it will, in a way, tarnish her career. I mean, I'm sure she'll be very successful in her homeland, but it's just really difficult. It does seem to be that Eurovision, which is meant to be a bringing together of people to just listen to music and it to be a happy event, is more and more often being taken into a political arena, and it's being used for that purpose. I mean, we didn't realise it back in the day, but we'd had a threat actually by the IRA, and although we knew there was some kind of problem because we had all this extra security, we were unaware of what it was. Thankfully, it all went off very well then, but it is... You know, it's frequently kind of hijacked for these reasons. So I hope it goes well for her. I mean, people are protesting outside. They have a right to protest, but I think booing her is not going to change anything on the ground in Gaza, is it?
I think, Jay, that one thing that could come out of this is that the public watching this, many of whom would have been ambivalent or neutral, and as you say, not especially interested in the politics. They're there for the Lambrini and the feather boas and just the ding-dong.
Lambrini.
Well, you know what I mean? They're there for the old-fashioned fun of it all, you know, that camp kitsch get-together. Suddenly it's become something quite different. Could actually that feeling of this 20-year-old Israeli woman being so attacked and ostracised end up going in her favour? Because we know that the general public love an underdog.
That's true. I am very interested to see what happens, because you get the vote from the kind of their judges that are more technical from each country. But then when it goes to the public vote, you can be at the bottom of the leaderboard and you can go to the top when the public vote happens. I mean, obviously, we did really well with Sam Ryder, and he was doing really, really well. Of course, we all sort of voted for Ukraine at that time. 2 years ago, and it changed everything, and they shot to the top. So we'll see how the public feel about this situation, and I guess that's why it's become a political event, which it shouldn't be. But
the winner tends to have some sort of political story behind them, perhaps, and maybe that will happen tonight. If it isn't Israel or whoever the sort of political vote goes in favour of, who have you got your money on? Because there's lots of talk around Croatia and baby lasagna, and Ireland called Bambi Thug. Now, for me, of the two, Bambi Thug is all a little bit demonic and a bit frightening, but maybe that kind of is the spirit of the crazy.
But I guess she's got a gimmick, it can be to your advantage. I do think at the moment, Baby Lasagna, the Croatian song, does seem to be literally in the lead. So probably I put my money on that one. And Bambi for good merit, probably second. But I think Israel will come, probably in the top 5, sadly, I'm not sure about our song. Although it's good, it's not a great song. He's a great performer, Ollie, but I don't feel... I hope we're on the right side of the leaderboard and not down the bottom.
Great many people watching this, Jay. I said earlier this week, let's bring back Bucks Fizz. It was an era of innocence, of bubblegum, of fun, a full-on, foregone era, if you imagine. And like now, everything is so politicised. Don't you think we just want to get back to basics? Keep Eurovision just about fun and love?
Absolutely, yeah. I don't think we'll be going back. I mean, Mike's actually just announced that he's leaving the band at the end of the year, and we've only got a couple of major concerts left, a farewell concert for him in November. So I think you struggle with that one. But then, Martin, how's your skirt ripping skills? I mean, you know, I know you're a bit tall for us.
Well, it's a bit. At least get me a drink first, Jay.
Well, maybe
I think on that note, we might say goodbye. Oh, otherwise we're going to get a call from HR.
No, carry on, don't stop.
We want to keep going.
No, go on.
All right, Jay, appreciate it. And I know you'll be raising a glass to Ollie Alexander this evening.